You don't want an irritating fufaji to become your customer who's coming into your family wedding and saying, खाने में नमक कम है, दाल में तड़का कम है, कार्ड पे मेरा नाम ऊपर नहीं छपवाया है. Ignore such fufajis. Two kinds of customers available in the market. One, who will open their wallet and value you for the value you add into their lives. And the second, who will always keep punching you down no matter how much value you add to them. They always will be demanding, always will be demeaning and disrespectful. So the question is, which kind of customer would you like to work with? The one who's a genuine customer or the other who is a Kasht Amar? Because not all customers are great customers to have. Some of them are just Kasht Amar in your life. Hi, my name is Rajiv Talreja, and as a business coach, I love working with clients and helping them find the right clients, because not all clients are the right clients. And that's why I want to share with you in this video my 5 ideal traits of the right customer, so that you can use these 5 traits and evaluate who are the kind of people you are offering your products or services to. Because at the end of the day, it's not just about making the money. It's about being fulfilled through the process by surrounding yourself with people who value the value you add in their lives. And that's why it's important for every business owner to understand the 5 traits of the right customer. The reason why understanding this topic of what are the 5 traits of a right customer is important for you as a business owner is because if you don't understand these 5 traits, then you offer your products and services to anybody and everybody, and in the process you lose your confidence, sometimes you lose money, and sometimes you just lose the joy of doing what you're doing. And that's why it's important to choose the people that you're working with, to work with those who understand the value you add to them and appreciate that value. And that's why it's important to understand the 5 traits of an ideal customer, because at the end of the day, not all customers are kings. Some customers are scams. So you need to protect yourself from such customers as well. So with that, let's dive into this video and understand what are the 5 traits of the right customer. The first trait of a right customer is the need factor, which means what? You need to ask yourself the question, does this person need my product or service? Does this person have a challenge or a desire which my product or service can fulfill or solve? Because if the person you're talking to does not have the need for your product, then you're wasting your time with the wrong customer. And even if you sell it to them, they will not be happy because you've sold them something that they don't need. So that's why the first factor of the right customer is the need factor, where you need to establish the need. You need to understand the need. What do they want? Why do they want it? What benefit are they seeking? Once you establish the need, that's the first parameter checked of whether this person is the right customer or not. So the first factor is the need factor. The second factor is the money factor. The second question you need to ask yourself once you've established the need and you know that they need the product or service is the money factor, which means do they have the money to spend on your product or service? Do they have the affordability to afford your product or service? Because sometimes you may encounter customers who have the need but they don't have the money. And if you're talking to customers who have the need but they don't have the money, then you will end up doing charity. It's important that you honor your value by offering your products or services to those who have a need and have the money, so that it's a win-win equation. So the second factor is the money factor. The third factor beyond the need and the money of an ideal customer or of the right customer is the willingness factor. Does this person have the willingness to spend their money? Because there are sometimes people who need something, they can afford it, but they don't want to spend money. They want to keep their money close to their chest and take it with them through the gates of heaven. But the challenge is such people may not even go to heaven, but they don't understand that. So willingness to buy is very, very important. Does this person have the heart to spend that money? If they don't, then even if they have the need, even if they have the money, you are wasting your time by beating your head against a wall. Why would you waste your time beating your head against a wall? Might as well open the door and get out of the room. So that's why you need to check this third factor, the willingness factor. Are they willing to invest? Are they willing to buy? If they are not, don't waste your time. Which brings me to the fourth trait of an ideal customer. The fourth trait of an ideal customer is the integrity factor. Now, beyond the need, beyond the money, beyond the willingness, what matters most is, are you talking to a person who has integrity, who has certain principles and values they live life by? Because if you're talking to people who don't have integrity, who don't care about the other person, who only look at their self-interest, who only look at their personal greed, then that is a toxic relationship. That's like living in a marriage where there's domestic abuse. Why would you live in a marriage where there is domestic abuse? That's why you need to check the integrity factor of the customer. Is this the kind of person who has principles? Is this the kind of person who practices loyalty to their suppliers or their vendors? Or is this a use and throw philosophy person? Is this the kind of person who values the effort you put in the sales process? Or is this the kind of person who just steals your ideas and gets it done from somebody else, or steals your design and executes it by somebody else? You want to make sure that you're working with people who are people with principles and values. That's why the integrity factor is so important. Because if there is no integrity, there's no point being around such a person as well. Which brings me to the fifth and final trait of an ideal customer. Now, beyond the need, beyond the money, beyond the willingness, and beyond the integrity, the fifth and final trait of an ideal customer is the trait of solution focus. Which means, is this person always looking at what next and what can be done? Or is this person somebody who's blame focused and is crying for the sake of crying, complaining for the sake of complaining, being cynical for the sake of being cynical? Because I can tell you, it's just too harrowing and stressful to work with a client who's complaining for the sake of complaining, blaming for the sake of blaming, and who's upset for the sake of being upset. You don't want an irritating fufaji to become your customer who's coming into your family wedding and saying, खाने में नमक कम है, दाल में तड़का कम है, कार्ड पे मेरा नाम ऊपर नहीं छपवाया है. Ignore such fufajis. Focus on the people who are genuinely happy to associate with you and they see it as a partnership of value for each other. That's when work becomes fulfilling. So these are the 5 traits of an ideal customer. There's the need factor, the money factor, the willingness factor, the integrity factor, and finally, the solution focus factor. When you find these 5 elements in a customer, don't leave them, because that is the beginning of an ideal love story. Now I know there are thoughts in your head saying, Rajiv, do such people even exist? Yes, they do. The question is, are you searching enough? Because most businesses are not searching enough. Most businesses are not marketing and selling consistently. Most businesses are just relying on their existing customers and landing up in a toxic, abusive relationship. So if you search, ढूंढने से तो भगवान भी मिल जाता है. Customer क्या चीज़ है? Go out there and market and sell yourself consistently and look for these 5 factors. And the day you reach a critical mass, a tipping point, where you've selected all your customers and they have these 5 factors, that's the day you've arrived, my friend, in business, because that's the day you start making money and you do it in a manner which is fulfilling and joyous. So I hope you find these ideal traits of customers useful to start looking at your existing customers and start teaching them who to be and how to be in a relationship. And if you find value in this video, don't stop your learning journey here with me. Click on the link below and continue your learning journey with me and join my 4-hour live training called the Business Breakthrough Seminar, because that's where I go a lot more broader, a lot more macro, where I teach you how to build a business which can grow without you. Because most entrepreneurs are stuck in the trap of doing everything by themselves. And if you're doing everything by yourself, you can't focus on growth and expansion. That's humanly impossible. So you don't need money to hire people. You don't need time to develop your teams. All you need is skills. And if you'd like to learn the skills of how to build a business which can grow without you, click register and I'll see you at the Business Breakthrough Seminar.